So in the last video, I talked about my top 5 African countries with the best roads. In this video, I'll be talking about my top 5 African countries with the worst roads. I've been traveling on my motorcycle and I've visited 20 countries so far, and I'll be choosing the 5 African countries amongst the 20 that has the worst roads. From dirt paths to massive potholes, these countries have tested my patience, my bike suspension, and even my spirit. So let's be clear on something. This doesn't mean that these countries are not amazing places to visit. It doesn't mean that they are not uniquely beautiful in their own way. Every country has its own uniqueness. But if you are planning to travel around Africa, then you should absolutely know about these countries and know that the roads will throw some curveballs at you on your road trip. In this video, I'll be concentrating on the national roads because the national roads are the ones I ply on my trip. I only do off-road when there is no other option because in truth, I am not 1 year old in this traveling thing and I am still quite scared of deserted, lonely forests. Most off-roads are deserted and lonely. So yes, I am still a bit scared. I am still very cautious of everywhere I go to, of everything I do. So that's why I don't really concentrate on off-road so much. I'm not a city rider that much. I'm not a stunt rider. I am an adventure rider who concentrates on national roads. So everything I am saying in this video is first-hand information, and that's why I'm concentrating on only the 20 countries I've visited. I am picking 5 African countries from the 20 I have visited, I have ridden through, I have seen. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. On number 5, we have Uganda. Uganda is very famous for its beautiful landscapes, wildlife, but the roads, well, quite challenging. I'll say the main issue with Uganda's road network is the lack of maintenance. Many of the national roads, particularly in rural areas, are riddled with potholes, and that makes it quite hard to travel. It makes traveling a nightmare. Even the capital, Kampala, isn't immune. When I was in Kampala, apart from the fact that I immensely struggled with so many commercial motorcycles on the road, with crazy traffic, I was also struggling with the roads. The bad roads made it so hard to ride within Kampala. And usually from my experience, even when the roads in a country is bad, the capital city is always good. Kampala, I went through a lot. Yes, they have some well-maintained roads, like the roads from Masaka through Mbarara, but those are very new roads. Like when I applied those roads, they were very new, and that was the only place that I actually saw good roads. So yes, Uganda makes it to my number 5. It's very common to find unsealed, muddy road that can become nearly impassable during the rainy season. When it rains, the roads can flood and become slick and dangerous. If you are planning to drive, be ready to give your vehicle some serious TLC. Uganda was the last place I camped. When I started from Kenya, I had my full camping gear. I had a big bag here. After falling just a few times in Kenya, that was manageable, but then Uganda was hell because the roads were bad. Okay, in Kenya, I didn't feel the fact that I was carrying so much load because the roads were good. But when I entered Uganda, I felt it so much. It was a struggle. The bike kept dropping. The roads were hard to pass. After camping in Jinja, I had to send back all my camping gear because it was a nightmare. It wasn't something I wanted to keep struggling with. And if the roads were good, of course, I wouldn't have sent them back. It was because of the good roads in Kenya that I thought that I could manage it. But when I got to Uganda, it was impossible. The roads were almost impassable. So I needed a lighter bike and I was still learning. So it was just hard. So yes, Uganda makes it to my number 5. On number 4, we have one of my favorite countries, which is Angola. I am sure you are surprised to hear this. I was surprised to experience this. But despite Angola's booming economy, the condition of the roads are brutal. The only place I enjoyed riding in Angola was in the capital, Luanda, and towards Soyo. Those were the only place. Getting into the border is the worst border crossing I've ever done. I struggled so much. I ride at night, and each time I rode in Angola all the way to Luanda, through Sarimo, through Malanche, it was hell. My bike kept dropping. The roads, they were being constructed, but it was like the construction hadn't even moved, hadn't even started. Mud, sand, it was just hell for me in Angola. It was when I got to Luanda that I could smile because I met the bikers and then the road was better. When I got to the capital city, Luanda, I was so exhausted because I had struggled so much through the roads that got me to Luanda. So yes, Angola, yes, the economy is good, the country is rich, but the roads are not good at all. Talking about the rural road network, while cities like Luanda and Lubango have seen a huge improvement over the years with new roads and expressways, much of the countryside still face poor road conditions. Most of the national roads linking the rural areas are unpaved and are in very bad shape, especially if you are traveling inland or to remote regions. I arrived at my destination Lumbala at 1 a.m. because of no other reason but the road condition. All the roads leading from Zambia to Angola are almost impossible to cross. Everyone going to Angola from Zambia always has to go through Namibia to enter Angola because it's almost impossible to cross from Zambia into Angola. All the 3 borders that lead into Angola from Zambia are exactly the same. They are so bad and they are supposed to be national roads. Even though Angola is one of my favorite countries, it just has one of the worst road networks. I packed too much load from Kenya when I was coming. I fell down like 3 times in Kenya. The day I got to Kampala, Uganda, it was raining, I fell. Then I shared the load. I sent most of them back to Kenya. Rwanda, Tanzania, Zambia, I've not had one fall. You see, immediately I entered Angola. This is the 2nd time I'm falling. It is sand everywhere. It's not like it's sand like the roads that are being fixed. It's all sand. I'm so exhausted and I can't lift the bike. I don't have any strength in me. It's always off-road. Google Maps will ride 6 hours. I will off-road. 9-10 hours, I'm still off-roading. After the civil war, Angola had to rebuild its road network, but the country still faces challenges with maintenance. You often find yourself dodging huge potholes, and the roads can be uneven with dangerous cracks and holes. If something could be done about the roads in Angola, it would climb up the ladder because it's an amazing country. There are so many things to say in Angola. It's so beautiful, and the people, the culture, the food, everything is top-notch. Except the roads, in my experience. And on number 3, we have Cameroon. So Cameroon is known for its rich culture, wildlife, mountains, but if you are traveling by road in this country, you might not get to see a lot of the beauty because you'll be too busy dodging potholes and craters. When I arrived in Cameroon, I was told the main roads that connect to Douala and Yaoundé, the capital, are in good shape. But navigating through the capital was hell because of the combination of traffic and the bad roads. The road network in most capital cities are better than the rural parts because that's where most people are. But Yaoundé is not like that. Yaoundé has way worse roads than the national roads in the rural areas in Cameroon. Not only did I have to struggle with mad traffic during the traffic hour because I arrived between 4 to 5 in the evening into Yaoundé. In Lagos, and chaos is learning where Yaoundé is. So yes, I knew that I would struggle with traffic and stuff in the capital, but I never foresaw having to struggle with such bad roads. Now, the condition of the roads in rural areas are quite shocking. Whether you are in the main Yaoundé-Douala highway or heading out to Bamenda, the condition of the roads leave much to be desired. Potholes are everywhere, and even major highways can turn into off-road adventures. The kind of adventure that you are praying that your suspension doesn't just come off. The kind of adventure that you are doing, jigim, like wow. I have heard that the government is attempting to make the roads better. They are putting things in place, but I didn't quite see that. At least in some of the countries like Angola, for instance, the roads are bad because there's a lot of construction ongoing. So they are making things better. But in Cameroon, I didn't see one place where construction was ongoing. I didn't see anything being improved. I mean, yeah. And that's why Cameroon makes it to my number 3. On number 2, we have Guinea-Conakry. The 2 Guineas. I'm still recovering from the madness that I experienced in the 2 Guinea. There is Guinea-Conakry and then there is Guinea-Bissau. So on my number 2, I have Guinea-Conakry. When I was approaching Guinea-Conakry, the locals said the roads in the capital city have improved over the years. Throughout my time in Conakry though, I didn't really see so much improvement. And then I think Guinea-Conakry, so far, if I ever do a topic of the road that has the craziest motorcyclists and drivers, Conakry will top the list. I hope there will be improvement. It's like everybody is doing their own thing. It's a military regime, interestingly. There are police are everywhere and stuff, but even the police in traffic posts, they are doing nothing. Like while they are giving order, people are doing other things. People are doing different things. The police is telling you to do this. People are doing something different, and there's nothing the policemen will do. They will just walk away. You have to be alert. All your senses are working. Your focus is 100% because anything could happen. Anything. And the craziest thing is that the riders don't even wear helmets. They don't wear any gear. So a lot of accidents. I was told that The hospitals are filled with motorcyclists, accidents, but there is no change, and it doesn't look like the government is enforcing something. At least in some countries, you can't ride without a helmet. I know in Cotonou, for instance, in Rwanda, even in Lagos, there are so many places that motorcycles are banned. But in Guinea-Conakry itself, you will see a lot of motorcyclists. Nobody is wearing gear. The roads are crazy. It is just a madhouse in Conakry. So I'd initially planned to use a road because even before I left Nigeria, a lot of people had told me about the Guinea roads. People had told me that when I go past Ivory Coast into Liberia, it starts getting crazy. I didn't experience so much madness in both Liberia and Sierra Leone, especially in Sierra Leone because the roads there were great. But when I entered Guinea, I've been advised to use a longer route through Labe in Guinea-Conakry, but that it will cut away Guinea-Bissau and I'll enter Senegal directly. And I am visiting all the countries in Africa, so I had to use the Bouquet road. Entering Bouquet, then entering Guinea-Bissau. I went through a lot. It is not just me. This is general knowledge. Everybody knows the roads are wild. In some areas, it's very common to slow down to a crawl because of the giant holes and deep ruts in the road. Riding or driving at night is pure nightmare. For the life of me, I can't imagine how anyone will be able to ride at night in the country. And even if you are riding a car at night because it's balanced, what about a bike? I don't know how the motorcyclists there survive at night. I could never, even in smooth countries, I could never ride at night, let alone in a country like that. No. So yes, on my number 2, I have Guinea-Conakry. Now number 1. My number 1 gave me nightmares. I actually dreamt of my number 1. In my number 1, I lost so many things. Like, things kept dropping. That was where I lost my glasses. The roads were so rickety and crazy that this thing got unscrewed by itself until I lost the second part. I'm not joking. My water bottles here, they both fell off. I only found one when I went back. The road was crazy with dust and everything. Like, it is doing. That's literally how the bike does. This whole place fell off. It was tied. See, I have rope. I tied it up with the bag on it. It fell off and I had no idea. That was how noisy and crazy it was. It was another car that raised and met me in front and told me that another car helped me pick my stuff before they met me, and I had dropped everything. It's even the box that has my laptop. And this is exactly how I've traveled through all the countries. My bike, that was everything broke. The fuel was coming down. It was just dropping after one of the trips. My body, my bike, my things. Oh my God. So on number 1, I have Guinea-Bissau. I'm talking about national roads here. So this is a national road, and I'm not even joking. This is the national roads that lead into Guinea-Bissau all the way. The roads in Guinea-Bissau are not just bad, they are actually dangerous. There are some roads that are bad, you struggle, but these ones are dangerous. These ones, like, if you fall on a problem, they are dangerous. So the difference between Guinea-Bissau and Guinea-Conakry is that Guinea-Bissau, the capital itself, the roads are great. The roads are beautiful, smooth, clean. Guinea-Bissau. But everywhere outside Bissau, oh lalicious. The reason why it is my number 1 and not Conakry is because Conakry has more national roads that are great. Because apart from, yes, we know Conakry is crazy. Conakry has bad roads. But outside Conakry, yes, if you don't use Bouquet, if you use the Labe road, the expressway is beautiful. It's good. It's not so bad. Nowhere near as bad. You get some off roads, but nowhere near as bad. Conakry didn't make it to the number 1 top worst road because it has better national roads than Guinea-Bissau. Because in Guinea-Bissau, the only place I experienced good roads was inside Bissau. Everywhere outside Guinea-Bissau was hell. The moment you leave the capital, Bissau, it's like stepping into a completely different world. Unpaved road, massive potholes, the muddy tracks are a constant struggle for travelers. If you are driving or riding in Guinea-Bissau, you spend more time dodging holes and swerving around debris than actually enjoying the journey. Crossing into Bissau from Guinea-Conakry was an absolute nightmare. I went through a lot, but I was also told that even though it's a national road, I was able to even use it at all because it's dry season.
Can I remember to mention that this is a national road? This is the only national road that leads from Conakry to Bissau, the only one. It's crazy.
If it was rainy season, that road is closed totally. Nobody can use it. Of course, they say cars use it because it's the only road that leads from Conakry to Guinea-Bissau. Even motorcycles, they say they can't use that road during rainy season. It's closed. You literally can't. Right from Nigeria, a lot of people have told me about the Guinea roads, and it's lived up to all the rumors, which is really, really sad. I wish there could be something done about the place because the Guineas are worth exploring. There is a lot to see in the Guineas, but the roads make it hard. A lot of travelers actually don't use that place at all. Most of the travelers that I met, everybody who advised me told me to go through Labe Road. totally ignore Guinea-Bissau and go into Senegal. So that means most people don't go into the country. That means tourism is not really thriving in the country because of the roads. So if something could be done about the roads, everything would change. A lot of things will change in the country. The roads are just impassable. It's just a nightmare passing them. Two wheels make impassable roads passable. Yeah, if you have the skills, then you can navigate through basically any road. But what about cars? What of people who don't have the skills? What of travelers who just want to travel? It's just hell. It's just a nightmare. If something can be done, if the government can put in more work into infrastructure, road, things will change in the country. Tourism will do better. So there you have it, my top 5 African countries with the worst roads, with Guinea-Bissau as number 1. And like I said earlier, this is my experience. It's possible that you use the same route and then you experience all this. No, you definitely experience all this. This is my experience. Let me know about your experience in these countries and any other country that you think the roads are crazy and the government of the country needs to do something about it to help with better movements on the road. Until next time, thank you for watching to the end. Bye. Mwah.